Good morning and welcome to No Second Season. It's Saturday, the 12th of December. That makes it summer in New South Wales. It's just gone 9 o'clock and it's about 26 degrees already, hot and sticky. There was a lot of rain last night, or there must have been, because there's a lot of leaf debris on the ground. And I've got myself out on a little overnighter, an overnighter with a difference. For me, anyway, because usually from Albury I go south or east or southeast into the high country. Today I've decided to ride from my house and I'm going north. I've plotted a little route north from Albury towards Jindera, a little bit of a loop, so let's get on it. It's hot already. I'm eventually off the main road. It's nearly 10 o'clock. It's 32 degrees last time I looked. Very hot, I'm very sweaty. But it is so great to be out this Saturday morning on my bike. I'm just making my way up this country lane. There's lots of beautiful properties. So to my left, it will be Hamilton Hill, then Nailcan Hill. And that's going back south. And this way would be north. As I've turned off to the left, I suppose I'm going northwest above Albury. There's so many butterflies. It's just so sad there's so many dying in the road, and I guess even if they're not hit, it's just the air blast may even kill them. Anyway, I shall keep on. And so, gravel road, just what I'm looking for. It's a nice surprise. There are corrugations here, really bad. Oh my lord. This is just a beautiful little lane. Butterflies, birds, bird song. I can hear some dogs barking in the distance. There's a lovely cactus just there. It's huge. I've turned onto a larger sealed road now, and I need to be on it for 8 kilometres, and it doesn't look like there's any shade, so I've stopped. at the start of this 8 kilometres in the shade, just to cool down. It's very hot, and just having a snack and a drink. And with all the storms that are about, there's a lovely breeze. There could well be a storm while I'm out this weekend. Phew, it's around midday, and I'm going to push up this hill. It's the last little bit of the 8 kilometres. Temperature, it's hot, 38.1 degrees, so it's quite warm. You know what, I think it might be time for the Nink umbrella. Yeah, I might get the Nink umbrella out in a bit, because it is bloody hot, but it's lovely. The sky is blue and white. I better get on with this last kilometre, then hopefully I'm back onto gravel roads. So I just turned off the sealed road onto this road, which I hoped would be gravel, but it's actually a freshly tarmacked country lane, and the tarmac is wet, or bitumen as they call it here. The bitumen is wet and soggy. Phew. Unfortunately, this sticky bitumen lasts for several kilometres. It's actually quite hard to ride on. It's a bit, not as bad as sand, but it's sort of quite soft. So that's a bit of a pain. I've just stopped under this beautiful tree. There's some built-in seating. So I'll just have a little cool down and then get back on my way. I haven't gone very far. I've not even gone a kilometre down this road yet. I've stopped so many times, but I just don't want to get heat exhaustion. That would be no good at all. So I've cracked out the Nink umbrella. I'm not going to stop here under this tree. It is beautiful, but there's a lot of flies, lots of them. And I've got 4.5 more kilometres on this sticky road. Not looking forward to it, so I better get it over with. I'm still on this horrible soggy bitumen road. I've got another 2 kilometres to go, but I'm just too hot. I've overheated, so I'm sitting under another tree. I'm just going to rest here for a bit and cool myself down, and then get going again. Right, I've turned left. There's some new bitumen here, but it says gravel road ahead. I've just got back onto the gravel road. So where I'm trying to go is probably another 15 kilometres to show you something, and then it's another 22 kilometres to my campsite. I'm not sure I'm going to make it. It's about probably 3 in the afternoon now, and that means I've got another nearly 40 kilometers to go. I'm not going to do it in this heat, so I need to make a decision. Executive decision made. I'm going to go to my campsite, which is 17 kilometers away. There's a gravel road ahead, and we get off this bitumen. runny bitumen. Okay, so I've lost the Nink umbrella, and that is my lifeline in these temperatures. It's the only way I can bike pack in these temperatures. I don't know what to do now, whether to turn around and go home. It's nearer to my campsite. I guess I just keep going to my campsite. Oh, what an idiot. Damn it. That's just a bloody nightmare. Oh, and now I feel sick. I'll have a little rest in this shade and get going to the campsite. Look at this palm growing between the gum trees. Never seen that before. It's a big, healthy one growing right up there. I've still got 15 kilometers to go. I'm not in good shape. I always do this, don't I? I totally overestimate my capabilities. Lost my Nink umbrella. It's 40 degrees. I'm just a walking disaster. I always forget, don't I? I've got Kath's neck cooler. Oh, that's a bonus. That's good. And I'm going to use some of the ice out of my ice pack as well. Stick it down my top. Try and cool me down. Oh, that's nice. Got one behind, one in front, so I'm getting nice and cool. Got the neck cooler. I just need something to eat. I've just started being able to eat bananas again, but I'm buying these slightly better grown ones that don't have as many chemicals. I can't afford organic, but I can afford these, and my tummy seems to be all right. So I think my reactions, I suddenly had a reaction to them about 5 years ago, and now I'm okay with these ones. I don't know if I'll be all right with ones grown with loads of chemicals though. That bloody bitumen's got everywhere. It's on my rucksack, on my legs, on the thing I sit on. That was a pain in the butt, that road. Now I think just down there is the end of the gravel road, and I think it's a sealed road all the way for 15 kilometers to a place called Burrumbuttock. It's a funny name, isn't it? Burrumbuttock. Anyway, that's where I'm supposed to be camping. I just got to make 15 kilometers. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. So I've just got to keep plodding on, and hopefully I'll get there before it's dark. I should do. It doesn't get dark till about, I don't know, perhaps 8 or 9 o'clock. I haven't checked. Anyway, I'm just going to have a little rest and then I'll get on. I've got 5 kilometres to go, but I'm totally overheated and feeling a bit sick. I've had loads to drink, lots and lots, and I've had electrolytes. I've been introducing them slowly to my water when I drink it at home, and it seems to be okay. I think I just can't take a whole tablet. I have like a quarter of a tablet, and that seems okay, but whole ones I think send me the opposite way, and that's why I was getting the bad cramps. Anyway, I'm gonna have a little rest.
Just before you go out, you know what I mean?
So there, that truck there, that's a beautiful lady called Debbie. She's 71. Debbie didn't want to be on camera. She wouldn't even let me take a photograph. But Debbie drove by me just when I had my last little rest, and then she stopped and she come back with some freezing cool water, and then she loaded all my stuff. Well, she asked me if I'd like a lift into Burrumbuttock, and I said yes. So we stripped bay, lifted it all in the back of her ute, and she dropped me at the campground. I think I've overdone my electrolytes, just had some terrible cramps, and I don't think it's for lack of, I think I've had too many. What an angel Debbie was, she's so kind. But yeah, she didn't want to be on camera, which was a shame because she was a lovely lady, and she's a farmer bird. Oh, just like Joe I met at the log along. You know, these people, they can be so kind. And anyway, I thank her a lot. If you ever watch this, Debbie, which I don't think you will, but if you ever do, or anyone knows Debbie from how long, please tell her thank you, and I appreciate it a million. Anyway, I'm gonna go and find some water, get my tent set up, have something to eat, and have my first cup of tea of the day. Let's get moving. Suddenly the wind has picked up here, and one little tip for you: when you're trying to get your tent up and it keeps blowing away, stick one of your bags or 2 of your bags inside, and at least it won't disappear. I'm all set up. Oh, I left it undone, damn it. I hope no creepy crawlies have got in. A funny spider here earlier, there was a white one. Anyway, over there in that tree is a kookaburra. He's been very quiet. He's very beautiful though. They are such beautiful birds. They look very much like kingfishers. But he's been flying around tree to tree here, and he's been sitting there for 10 minutes now, and I hope he does lots of laughing. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Now the toilets are open. They're very nice, very clean, modern toilets. There's drinking water. It's a donation site, so I will leave them a donation. I've got $20 on me, so I'll leave them that. Electricity is available. You're meant to ring a guy called Jeff if you're staying here, which I've done and left him a message. If you want electricity, I think you also have to ring, and you pay by the hour or something strange like that. But anyway, I'm not going to use it. This wind is quite strong, and I hope it's gone by tomorrow, because this would be a headwind to get home. There's only 22 kilometres home. So that won't be too bad. I hope I need to get up early before the heat starts, although it's not going to be as hot. It's not going to be 40 degrees tomorrow. Tops in late afternoon 35. So I should be okay getting home. Now let's go and make my first cup of tea of the day. So I've just got out the wind here. This is actually, there's a shower here too. I think you have to pay for a hot shower. I'm tempted to have a cold one. So this takes $2 coins only if you want a shower. There's a unisex toilet, nice and clean. The ladies, there's 2 cubicles in there, and a sink and a mirror. So you kind of got everything you want. And then there's a gents down there. So not a bad little setup. I think that's about it. I don't think there's a washing up facility, but just round here. So my tent's over there, just round here. This is where you put your donations. There's a tap here, suitable for drinking. So I'll fill all my bottles before I go. Yeah, I think that's it. So this is the village hall, I believe. Now there is a very nice little point of interest here. It's I'll have to look up the name, but it has, so we come from that way, and just down there on the right is the gardens with indigenous, you call it indigenous, I don't know if you call it indigenous, flora and fauna. I think you can walk around the gardens anytime, but I believe the little frogs and some other small animals may be inside, I'm not sure. But it's a nice little place. You can go for a walk around looking at the different trees and shrubs. We've got a war memorial here. There's a shop over there which apparently opens perhaps in the evenings. If it's open tonight, I might go and get myself an ice cream. And there's a pub just here, I believe. It says Saturday opens. General store 8 till 8. But the door's locked. But apparently they might do fish and chips from here. If you're wondering what I do for cold food, it isn't a great solution. I bought this tiny little cooler in Spain when I was bikepacking there. I put a few frozen blocks in there inside a bag so they don't get water everywhere. And that's where I keep my milk. That's still cold to the touch, that's good. Some rubbish. And I did use the ice blocks earlier to cool myself down, which I wish I'd thought of it before. So that's all I have, is that little bag. Excuse my fat belly and my lady humps, but it's too bloody hot to wear loads of clothes, so I do apologise. Yeah, I've looked for a bigger bag, but as flimsy as this before, can't find one anywhere, because it is handy that it's so small and it just slots in the luggage, although it isn't great. But I don't think anything's going to be great in 40 degrees. And it does the job. Oh bloody hell, there's bull ants around here. And I think that's what bit me at Mount Lawson. I've got a funny thing on my arm just there. You can see where it's white and there's like a star shape coming out of it, and I think I was bitten. I think I was bitten by an ant at Mount Lawson. The kookaburra's just having a little giggle, not quite a laugh, a little giggle. Oh, it's going to be great if he sticks around. I thought I'd try and cook my food in the little shelter, but the wind is just too windy. Things keep blowing away. So I may have to cart all of this over to behind the toilets. I know what I can do. I'll go and get my backpack and I'll put it over there, and that should shield it, because I do have a windshield for my stove, but it's heavy. Obviously it needs to be quite heavy to stay up and not all flop about, but I don't bring it bike packing. I'll go and get my backpack. Had me some dinner. It was a plant-based chili, obviously not con carne. It was chili made of beans and corn. It was very nice. It was just a packet one. I did not prepare it from scratch, and I had some bread with it. That was very nice. Feeling tired now. It's 8 o'clock. The wind sort of dies down and then gusts again. Looks like it's going to go till 11 o'clock now. I'll have a headwind all the way home of around 9 kilometers an hour, which is a pain in the butt. I think it's being driven by a front coming across, although up Queensland, off the Queensland coast, there is tropical cyclone Jasper swirling around. I'm not sure when it's going to hit the coast. It's about 600 kilometers away from the coast, and that's about, I don't know, 1,500 kilometers away from here. I don't know if that affects us. I guess it does a little bit, but it should stay dry. It shouldn't be as hot tomorrow, but still quite hot, and hopefully I'll have a good night here. I do feel a little bit vulnerable being a solo female, because obviously men are driving by. There's a road just here, lots of cars are coming down it, and then the other road, it comes to a junction, and the other road is across there. So I do feel a little bit vulnerable, because people will have seen me and seen a woman alone, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be okay, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. So I'm going to pack up and get to bed now. I don't want to go to sleep too early. I feel a little tired, but I'm okay. Whether I'd have got here without Debbie giving me the lift, I'm not sure really. I think I would have, but it would have took me a couple of hours. You know, I'd have had to rest a lot, but she saw me resting and it worried her. She thought I was like collapsed, and I wasn't. I was just asleep. She kind of woke me up as she pulled up, so I was only having a little nap. Anyway, perhaps you'd like to make a guess in the comments whether I'd have made it here or no. Let me know what you think. You know, I've been in this situation many times, and I'm not exaggerating how I feel, but I do have a rest and manage to pick myself up. Anyway, I'm going to have to read this, because I was going to try and learn it, but I'm kind of not in the mood. So what I wanted to show you was, I was heading towards Brocklesby. What I wanted to do is take you to the site of an incident that happened on the 29th of September 1940. And it was... Can you hear him? What happened was, two Royal Australian Air Force Avro Anson planes were on manoeuvres, and over Brocklesby an incident happened where one crashed into the other. So they were like piggybacked. The engines on the upper one stopped, but the engines in the lower one kept going. Now the two pilots in the lower one, I think, bailed out. The two pilots in the upper plane realised they could control the whole ensemble of both planes by using their ailerons and flaps, and they landed it safely. The other two guys bailed out safely. No one was hurt. One of the planes, the upper plane, returned to service, and the lower plane was used only as an instructional airframe from that date. And the site where this happened, near Brocklesby, is marked with a plaque, and I just wanted to show you that and tell you the story. Morning. It's 6:20 in the morning. I've been up since, probably about 5:20. I don't know what I've been doing. I just went over to the toilets, had a wash. Well, a brief, washed my hands and face. That was about all. I don't know what I've been doing. I had a coffee. So, I didn't get to sleep till 4 in the morning. I slept on and off until then, but I finally got to proper deep sleep at 4 in the morning, because it was 4 when I last looked at the clock. And then the dawn chorus woke me at 5, so I thought I'd better get up. I hope to be out of here by 7. That would be nice. So what I'll do is have some breakfast, another coffee, and get moving, get home while the weather's cool. The wind started again. It started up again about midnight, and it's blown all night. There's a breeze here now, but it's not blowing like it was. I just hope it doesn't pick up again, because that'll be a headwind all the way home. So one thing I learned about going north from my house is it's a whole lot hillier than I thought it was. I didn't bother checking the gradients because I thought it was flat. It's not flat at all. It's actually quite hilly. So directly east from here, I'll put a little shot of that up. I got a bit of a photo, a bit of film of it, and that is Burrumbuttock National Park. Now that is somewhere you can't really go. I've tried to get on it before. The only way you can get in it is to walk in, so you could possibly hike in. But it does say that you're supposed to go with an Aboriginal elder as a guide, and that has 3, as you'll see from the pictures. Possibly they're on the screen now if I'm doing my job properly. You can see there's 3 striking summits on there, and that is so intriguing because it's a place of national interest for the Aboriginals. And so you can't go up there, you can't drive up to it, you can't even get within a few kilometres of it by car unless you own the land around it. So I've got a second coffee. I'm going to drink this. I've started packing up, finish packing up and then get going. Hopefully I'll be out of here by 7, I'm hoping. Actually, perhaps not. But I'm going to aim for that. There's lots of ants here, all sizes, small to the large ones, but not once on this trip have I seen a mozzie, so that is really good news. And it is dry out here. there's very few rivers. In fact, I haven't seen a creek or a river. I don't think at all. I don't know how they get the water supply. Lots of big dams here. What they call dams is like a water deposit like you have in Spain. But lots and lots of those, some really big ones as well. Oh, something I didn't tell you, last Sunday I had my first big slam off my skateboard for probably a couple of months, heavily onto my right sort of side of my pelvis, coccyx, hip, etc., and strangely onto my left shoulder. Whiplash, terrible whiplash. It's just started feeling normal again. When I did it, I thought, bloody hell, I've really hurt my throat. I must have flung my head right back. So whiplash all down my front, down the side and the back, but on the left hand side, and all the bum pain, big bruise on the right. So I didn't go on Wednesday, and obviously I'm not going today. I might even skip it now until after Christmas, because I don't want to get injured for Christmas, do I? That would be stupid. Yeah, perhaps I'll not go skating until after Christmas. I want to, I absolutely love it. If you're on the fence about trying, but I'm going to go and get some tuition, I'd say go and do it, because it's amazing. You don't think of anything else while you're skating. Possibly that's why I fell off. I just lost focus for a moment and off on my arse. Anyway, top of the morning to you, and cheers. I'll drink this, get packed up and get on the move. I better get a wriggle on. So nice not having to filter water. Finally packed up. It is 7:40. Dang, naughty. I think it's the dithering, it's not the actual packing up. I think I'm quite efficient at that. I just dick about having coffee and things. I shouldn't have that first cup of coffee. I should get straight into breakfast, one coffee, and then get off. Anyway, it's getting hot. Let's get home. And I just had a look, it's 26 kilometres, not 20. Damn it. So here we go. This is Jindera Road, and this goes all the way to the road my house is on. I'm heading south, and the wind is coming from the south. So I've got a bit of a headwind. Supposedly around 9 kilometres an hour headwind. I've done 5 kilometres. I'm going to try and stop every 5, have a snack and some water. I know that sounds pathetic, and when I put things on Facebook bike packing groups, there's always some smart ass, you know. I'm 98 years old and I can kick out 100 kilometres a day in 50-degree heat, carrying 80 kilos. There's always some smart ass who toured the world 30 years ago and thinks they know it all. But yeah, every 5 kilometres. Luckily, I'm going south. The sun is rising to my left, which has put me in the shade of these trees. So as long as the road is lined by trees, I'm good. It's not going to last long because the sun's getting higher. So I need to get my ass into gear. Since Burrumbuttock, it's been mostly uphill, just a steady climb. with the headwind. It's actually quite hard work. You know what, men don't know how lucky they are. Well, unless there's any men that wear sports bras, because getting a sports bra off when you're sweaty and got dodgy shoulders is bloody hard. And I let it dry overnight, getting it back on this morning when I'm all clammy. it was hard again. I'm 6 kilometres on from when I last stopped. I've made it every 3. I'm even more pathetic than you thought. So yeah, every 3's fine. Luckily, look, the sky has clouded over. The sun's visible, but it's shrouded in cloud. So I can actually get through the kilometres quite well without that blazing down on me. So that is really good news for me. I might even leave my silly hat off, just wear my bike helmet. Anyway, I'm gonna have a drink and something to eat and get on my way. I think there might be an ice cream with my name on it in Jindera. Let's go and have a look what's around. Managed to bag myself the last dairy-free Magnum from the IGA store. IGA in Australia is a smaller supermarket chain, but there's one just about in every town. Jindera's a lovely little town. I wouldn't mind moving here. It's growing. But it's a little country town. It's got some places to visit for tourists, a little museum, and a few old buildings. So it's worth a visit if you're out this way. As is Burrumbuttock. I will look up the name of the environmental park there, because I have been around it before, and it's actually very nice. It's quite serene, and lots to see if you're interested in the flora, the native flora of Australia. Anyway, I'm going to eat my ice cream. I'm still in Jindera. I've just stopped off here at Wagner's store. Now this was established in 1874, so it's about 150 years old, and it is now a museum. But it was started by partnership of a local man, Peter Wagner, and a guy who emigrated here from Prussia, and they set it up in 1874. They dissolved the partnership 10 years later, and then it was run by Peter Wagner and his son. Now Peter died in 1927. His son ran it until 1950, and eventually the villagers bought it, and now it's a museum, and you can come and visit here. It's open 7 days a week, 10 till 4, and there's a nice little tea room next door. So if you're looking for a Sunday afternoon jaunt, these historic little towns are worth a visit. And there are some other little historical points of interest here. There are other points of interest. There's the blacksmiths just across the way. I think this is all part of the museum as well. And there's a historic walk you can go on. So if you're out this way near Jindera, pop in and have a look at some of the history and help the local economy as well, because this is run by volunteers. That must take some doing to be open 10 till 4 every day of the week, so good on them. Anyway, I'm going to get home, and looks like the sun seems to have squeezed itself through the clouds. It burnt all the clouds away. So I might need to put a jumper on. I've got 10 more kilometres to go. The temperature is just over 31 degrees. Not hideous, but quite hot. And the sun has managed to burn away a few of those layers of haze, which is a bit of a shame. So I've banged out 3 kilometres since Jindera. Now I think it starts going up the hills up to Jindera Gap. They don't look like hills from here on the GoPro, but with my eyes they are most definitely hills. Okay, so this stretch isn't good. No shade. There hasn't been any shade for a kilometre. And it doesn't look like there's any shade going up into the Jindera Gap. One thing to bear in mind if you've not bike packed before, on an overnighter, you have no time to bed your fitness in, bed your kit in. You just have to be on it straight away. If you're going for a long one, your fitness improves gradually. You get your bags and you set up just how you want. But on overnighters, they're not that pleasant when, you know, when you're not fit, and I'm not. I'm at the top of Jindera Gap now, so I'm hoping it's all downhill all the way home, but I'm not sure it is. There might be another hill. I just had to report to the wildlife people a kangaroo that was dead on the side of the road. It looked pretty fresh, and it was a female which might have a joey in its pouch, but I daren't touch it. I'm squeamish, and it was lots and lots of flies on it because had some bad wounds, but it did look very fresh and there was blood. So anyway, hopefully if there's a joey they'll rescue it, and let's get down this hill and to home for a cup of tea. Dead. The ants are moving it, I think. Well, it might be moving on its own, but I think the ants might be moving it. Then there's another one there. And then there's another one there. So 3 in that short space. It's very sad. So it's 11:30 and here I am sitting on my sofa having a nice cup of tea. That last bit was hot work. I don't know what the temperature is, but it was bloody hot. Debrief of this little bike packing overnighter. I've got quite a bit on my list. But first, some apologies. Sorry you've had to see my flabberty belly and my lady bumps. Do apologise, I know it's not pretty. Anyway, these short ones are really tough. As I said before, on a long ride your fitness builds. On a short ride you've got to be on it straight away. Everything's got to be right. I learned a few things. One is north of here isn't flat, not in a 30-40 kilometre radius anyway. Another thing is I shouldn't be riding in 40 degrees, but I knew that because I struggle to ride anything over about 25 degrees and I'm struggling with the heat exhaustion thing. I think I've done all right. I've made a massive step forward in my coping with heat. but alas not for 40 degrees. It was a bit too hot, or even 30. Today it's just over 30, and still without any shade and without the Nink umbrella, I was buggered. Anyway, sometimes I wonder if I should be allowed out on my own. I've got quite a bit on my list in my little notepad. I've obviously got to buy a new Nink umbrella. I've got to buy a new lens for my phone camera. So I smashed that. Just at the top of Jindera Gap, I dropped my GoPro Hero 5 and scratched the lens. So I need a new lens for that. Luckily, the Hero 5 does have a screw-on lens, whereas the 8, if you bugger it, it's buggered. That's it. You can't put another one on. What else have I got? A couple of items. Sharpen my pencil, put some mouthwash, top up in there. I need a bag for my toiletries, just a plastic bag because it's ripped. My roll packer brackets. Now, the roll packers seem to be touching the tyres at times over bumps. Now, they don't usually do that. So I've either lost air out of my dampers and forks, or for some reason the brackets are moved. So I need to strip them right off and put them back on again to make sure there's clearance. And I can see actually the rear one really is hanging down. Oh, another thing on my list, my tent. Now, I noticed that my rain fly, the seam tape has all dried up and cracked. So I don't think it's waterproof anymore. So it's a good job it didn't rain last night. Still I've got a problem with my cramping. Definitely now too many electrolytes, because I'd gone up to half a tablet. It's too much. I need a quarter of a tablet. So since I haven't had any today, no cramping. Yesterday, loads, and through the night, loads, because I put electrolytes in my water. So that wasn't good. So I need to be very careful with those. But anyway, yes, I did enjoy it. And for all that it was, not the same solitude, because there's lots of cars and constantly coming across farms. It was just nice to see out that way. I'll have to get out that way. So if I went directly northwest from here, further and further and further, I'd end up in the outback. And that's what I'd like to do one day, even if it's just a broken hill. But can't afford it at the moment, but hopefully I'll get there one day. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I will close this video here, and until next time, it's a goodbye from me. I'm going to go and jump in a nice, cool shower. Once I've managed to get this sweaty sports bar off, it is a blooming nightmare. It's terrible. Anyway, goodbye for now.